Hello and welcome to Diatomic, where we explore the intersection of science and society. In today's video we'll be discussing the idea of simulation theory and how it compares to some aspects of religion. So, join us as we delve into this thought-provoking topic and try to unravel the mysteries of the universe. The vast majority of people have now likely heard of, as I'm sure you have, or at the very least have some idea of what simulation theory is. The notion has evolved from the fact that our perception of reality, our conscious experience, is simply the interpretation of sensory inputs that are assembled, interpreted, and to a large extent, fabricated by our mind. Your brain essentially receives external sensory information from your surroundings and compiles a composite version that you assume is reality. The thing is, if our conscious experience is simply a fancy representation of little more than electrical impulses within our nervous system, then theoretically, if the same sensory inputs could be provided directly into someone's brain, you could simulate an experience that would be completely, perceptibly real. And just like plugging Neo into the Matrix, Mr. Anderson's lived experience was nothing more than a simulation, with the real world one conscious layer away. Recently there's been talk about simulation theory as a new, highly complex scientific way to understand our existence, aiding the understanding of the origins of our universe. Well, I don't know about all that, but I must admit there are definitely some interesting aspects of our universe that might indicate some algorithmic control. For instance, the recurrence of mathematical patterns and sequences in nature, such as the Fibonacci sequence, which relates to the golden ratio, 1.618. This ratio holds strong in biological structures in plants and animals, large-scale weather systems, and structures of vast star systems, and even abstract examples such as fluctuations of the stock market. Then there's the inextricably linked Pareto distribution and 80-20 rule, which occurs so prevalently that elements of almost every complex system can be arranged and predicted using them. Some examples of the 80-20 rule are 20% of criminals commit 80% of the crimes, 20% of drivers cause 80% of all traffic accidents, 80% of pollution originates from 20% of all factories, 20% of a company's products represent 80% of sales, 20% of students have grades 80% or higher. You get the idea. Throw in the fact that the laws of nature are governed by universal constants. It's not unreasonable to assume that all these anomalies might all be part of an overarching algorithm that maintains the neat mirage of the universe that we experience. The idea of simulation theory is clearly speculative. The premise uses an increasing technological ability of the human species as a jumping off point. As you may have noticed, the processing speed of computing power is steadily increasing. In fact, it's roughly doubling every 18 months in accordance with a principle known as Moore's law. The seemingly exponential improvement of hardware allows us to run more and more detailed software and complex programs. So much so that within a few decades it is believed by eminent thought leaders and scientists that we will have the ability to create simulations that are virtually indistinguishable from reality. Scientists such as the philosopher Nick Bostrom speculate that this level of technology may be an evolutionary certainty. And if that is the case, then it's more likely that we're living in a simulation than not in one. And I mean, in all honesty, judging by the rate of technological change that we've seen over the past few decades, it's hard to refute this prediction. I mean, we've gone from Pong to today's ultra-realistic video games in 5 decades. Where will we be in another 5? And in the grand scheme of things, even a few centuries is a relatively small amount of time on a universal timescale. In fact, using this logic, super real simulations may be common, even inevitable. We could currently be living in a simulation, within a simulation, within a simulation, within... You catch my drift. So, if we are living in a simulation, as simulated realities are an evolutionary certainty, where is the base reality? The real? The chance that we happen to be in the base reality and that our civilization will be the first to create a simulated reality is Surely slim to say the least. But herein lies the rub. If this reality is not the base reality, if it's even possible to tell, it simply means that everything we know, everything that we can know, including the origin of the universe itself, has been simulated and therefore created by another being. In a way, not dissimilar to, well, a god, a technological one. But instead of the universe's structure being turtles all the way down, as per the religious adage, it is simply simulations all the way down. In this way, simulation theory is not dissimilar to a religion. And, as with most religions, you cannot prove nor disprove the theory. This is because the tools you would use to measure its validity are part of the reality that you're attempting to test. My intuition tells me that it's not likely that you can detect a simulation using simulated tools. Therefore, to believe this theory, you must have faith in its assumptions, which is, on all counts, a very religious notion. Don't get me wrong, this theory is obviously feasible and possibly quite likely. However, in my opinion, it is no more insightful than any one of the many global religions that have existed across the millennia. The idea essentially imbues a futuristic civilization with godlike universe-building powers, yet gives no explanation to the origins of the base reality, simply writing off this reality as fake. This is reminiscent of the question, if God made the universe, what made God? Some ethereal programmer, many layers into the stack of simulated realities made our reality, is to us godlike, yet what made them? You can strip the universe down to its fundamental constituents, to the quarks and gluons, yet there is no clear indication of an underlying code. At least, not one that we can perceive. And don't get me wrong, there are most definitely recurring patterns that materialize on all scales. As I said before, the Pareto distribution and the golden ratio and the Fibonacci and Benford's law, to name but a few. Are these remnants of a code of sorts? Or simply evidence of celestial design? Or just part of some natural unifying force that brings order to the universe that we perceive? It's simply impossible to know for certain. However, there is one thing that I feel fairly certain of. Simulation theory is more a theory of religion than that of science, with leaps of faith, the requirement of creators, and an innately untestable and unprovable nature. Nevertheless, it's a really cool thought experiment. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like it, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We appreciate your support and can't wait to share more with you. Bye bye.